I welcome everyone for today's lecture, Introduction to C Programming. Let's discuss what are the topics we are going to see today. First, today's objective, the basic outline of C programming. So how to write a C programming in a basic understanding level. So what are all mean by preprocessors and preprocessor directives? How to create an identifier. So each person has their own name like that. Inside the computer, the values are stored using identifiers. How to identify that and how to recollect the values that are stored in identifier. And little bit advanced of that identifiers, how to be able to create the data types, variables, constants, and other things. So C means C programming is a computer programming language. So each human being understands English language or any other mode of language. That language communication between humans is called as a high level language, and a language the same that has been communicated to computer. So what we know, we are communicating to a computer. That is also a high level language. So whereas computer could not able to understand all the high level languages. So what it will do is it will convert that high level language into another form of language called low level language. So already we discussed about low level language or machine learning language. So that high level language will be converted into the low level language, and after that it performs its process. So main thing is C is a structured programming language. So structured means as like as each language has its own structure. For example, English or other languages has their grammars. The same way, C programming language is also having some prescribed structure. So we want to strictly follow to the structures. So this is the structure of a C program, how it looks like. So first line, always the preprocessor directives. Each first line of a C program should start with preprocessor directives. So what is meant by a preprocessor directives? Preprocessors, that means already some code has been executed and it has been stored in one form. So we want to use that code and we want to create a, based on that code, we are using some functions. I will explain about what is functions, declarations and all, okay? So already existing code, we are inheriting or we are using it in our program. That is called as a preprocessor. So we are using the properties, that is called preprocessor directives. Second one is called as a global declaration. So what is a global declaration? For example, a declaration that has been outside the main is called as a global declaration, and a declaration that has been made inside the main is called as a local declaration. If I am using any identifier in the global, it can be inside the main and also to the outside the main. Both the areas I can use it. But whereas the local declaration, it could be able to access or use only within this main function. No other areas I could use it. So always the main area of the C program should start with the main function. So it could have two things. We can consider as three things. First one is the return type. Second one is the function name, and third one is the list of arguments for what it is processing. And it should have an open curly braces and say that the local declarations and any statements, printf, scanf, addition statement, all the statements, arithmetic operators, logical operators, expressions, whatever we want, we are giving it in the statements, line by line, each line. So each line should end with a terminator. Here in C programming, terminator statement, terminator is a semicolon. and we want to close the main function, that is by a curly braces. And next thing is the other functions. This is main is a predefined function. Other functions are user-defined functions. So when we get into the concept called as the functions, where there we can discuss it in detail. So a small example with that. First line is called as a preprocessor directive. That preprocessor directive is a hash include. We call this as a less than symbol. No, this less than symbol and greater than symbol, each pad we call it as an angular brackets. Okay, so hash, that is a all preprocessor directives should start with a special symbol called hash followed by include. Next, inside the angular brackets, already predefined statements. Those are called as a header files. We are inheriting it, studio.h. Next concept is main function. That main function can have a return type or it cannot have a return type. If it have a return type, we will give it as an int or any other data type followed by the function name called main. What it carries, it has only void argument. So we are mentioning it. Void means null. We are specifying it as void arguments. Next line is the open curly braces. That is the we are containing all the code or we are starting the main code. Next line, printf statements. Just give a hello world message. That hello world message, what I want to be displayed in the screen, that is hello world. That hello world, it should be given inside the double quotes. So, and I'm having a symbol called exclamatory symbol. So /n, those are called as a carriage returns. That line means it gives a new line in that hello world line and it goes to the next line. Any other content to be displayed will become to the next line. Whenever we use int for the main, we want to have a return statement. Return 0, semicolon. That is a terminator. And we are closing the main function. If we run this, we will get an output called hello world. So we are getting the same the greetings program demonstrated. Line by line, it has been demonstrated. So whenever we start a program, that program should start with some command lines. So what is meant by a command line? Any command that is written in a code for the author's purpose. So I am an author of this program, so I can type some contents. So that should not reflect in any of my code. For that, what I am using / asterisk and asterisk / Within this block of code, if I type any contents, this will not be executed with the C programming. So what is the purpose of this? This is only for the purpose of the author to identify what is the purpose of this code, what is the purpose of this line, what is the purpose of this expression. Like that, I want to have a hints. For that hints, I am doing it. This is for documentation purpose. That is this one is a multi-line command. If it is a single line command, we can start with /. This is the whole line command. Here, second line is the partial line command. So I start, one line will be executed and after that I am having some / and some contents. This is partial line command. When I given that /, that is / in front of the first character of that line, that is called as the whole line command. So these are all the data types which we are going to discuss in detail in C. Just I give you an outline. Basic types: void type, integral type, floating point type, derived type. Void means I already explained about it as null. Integral means any integer or number form. Boolean, character and integer. These three are called integral form. Floating point with any precision values, real numbers, imaginary numbers and complex numbers. And last one is the derived data type. Okay, we end this session here. and we can discuss all these C types in detail in our next lecture. Thank you, everyone.